Splurging on a desk setup can empty your wallet fast. Having a nice setup and sticking to a tight budget do not go hand in hand. But what if I told you that with a little creativity and a little finesse, you can put together a fully functional and productive desk setup, including the computer, for less than $400? That's what I did with this desk setup here. Let me show you around. Let's start off with the peripherals. The keyboard that I use is the Red Dragon Kumara K552. I got this for $15 used off of a friend. Online, these can be found for about $40 or $50 new or about $25 used. Let me tell you, this keyboard is incredible. I truly believe that this is the best value keyboard that money can buy. This thing is built like a tank. I have used it for 4 or 5 years now with absolutely zero problems or complaints whatsoever. Truly nothing bad to say about it, and it has served me well for a long, long time. Moving on to the mouse. This is a SteelSeries Rival 3 mouse. I paid $25 for this new, but this can be found used online for less than $10. It has full RGB, 8500 CPI, fully programmable buttons, and it's very ergonomic and comfortable to use for extended periods of time like editing or gaming. No complaints whatsoever about this mouse. Very, very good value for the price. So in total, my peripherals for this setup cost only $40. Moving on to the monitors, which are definitely the most prominent part of my triple monitor setup. So the square monitors are the Dell UltraSharp 1707 FPF square 17-inch displays. I bought one off eBay for $50 and the other one I got for free at a garage sale, which looking back on it, I definitely overpaid for the one on eBay because these can be found for as low as $30 online now. Now I will say, square monitors are incredibly outdated. The 5:4 aspect ratio is just kind of awkward, and the 1280 by 1024 resolution is very low. But for secondary monitors, I'm generally very happy with these. They do the job. Don't get one of these as a main monitor, but if you're looking to add a second or third monitor, this would be a great option. Onto the main monitor, this is the Dell SE2417HG. I got a great deal for this monitor at Costco for $90 new. It looks like now it's going for a little over $100. It's a 24-inch monitor with a 1920 by 1080 resolution and a 60 Hz refresh rate. I absolutely love this monitor. It's only 1080p, but it looks amazing. It's a great size. It's a pretty bare bones monitor, but it has everything I need. Just a great value and fantastic bang for your buck. I highly recommend this monitor for budget setups. So the monitors in total were $140, bringing the total cost of the setup to $180. Onto the accessories. So my first accessory is the Pseudotac ST900 microphone. I got this USB microphone new off of Amazon for $60, and I love this thing. This is the microphone that I use for all my videos, including this one, and also for game chat. For less than $60, this thing sounds amazing, and not to mention it comes with a boom arm, pop filter, windscreen, and has an easy access mute button and headphone jack. If you're looking to add a budget microphone for content creation, gaming, Zoom calls, anything else, this would definitely be my recommendation. The speakers that I use for my setup are the Dell A425. There's not really a good spot on my desk for these, so they're kind of just sitting awkwardly behind my monitors. These can be found for only $20 online, and I think that's actually because these are super old. I couldn't find any information pertaining to when these speakers were actually released, but I found discussion boards online surrounding these speakers dating back to 2007. That's kind of crazy because these things sound absolutely phenomenal. The mid to high ends sound great, and the subwoofer is actually surprisingly powerful. These things can get loud too. There are a lot of options across the board for budget computer speakers, but the Dell A425 is definitely a great option for budget setups. Right under my main monitor, I have an Amazon Alexa 3rd generation. Now, since Alexa is now on generation 5, the 3rd gen Echo Dot can be found online for super cheap, around $20. It's nice to have a voice assistant to ask about the weather, play music, or fun stuff like this. Alexa, lamp off. Not a necessary accessory by any means, but it's a fun one for sure. For Zoom meetings, I have a $20 Logitech C270 mounted on my right monitor. This is a plug-and-play 720p webcam with a built-in mic, and it does great for online meetings. Finally, behind my desk, I mounted a 6-foot LED light strip. I got this thing for $5 at Walmart. They don't stick very well, and they're not very bright, but they bring a cool vibe to my setup for $5. So my accessories in total are $125, bringing the total cost of my setup to $305. So what about the actual desk? I actually got this desk for free. I've had this thing since I was like 10 years old. I'm pretty sure my parents bought it for me way back when. You'd be surprised how cheap you can get a good desk nowadays. There are plenty of options for as low as $50. I would advise you guys, if possible, to avoid the cheapest desks though. A good desk is really the foundation of your desk setup. I was lucky enough to get a really well-built, sturdy one, but if you buy a super cheap, flimsy one, it'll kind of make your whole setup feel just cheap. I'd recommend getting something at least in the $100 range. I bought this one from Office Max for $110 for my college apartment setup, and I love it. It's not quite as well built as as my home desk, but I'm definitely satisfied with it for the price. Facebook Marketplace is also a really good place to look for cheap desks. You can find really good deals locally there. The chair I use is the DPS 3D Insight gaming chair. I also received this chair for free as a gift. They have released newer generations of this chair, so this particular one is discontinued, but it was $120 from Costco. I actually made an unboxing video of this chair about 4 years ago, so if you want to see a video of 17-year-old me, check this out right here. Gaming chairs are another item that you can find really good deals for on Facebook Marketplace, so that's where I'd recommend looking to cut costs on a chair. So my desk and chair cost me $0 total. The cost of this setup is still at $305. So now we'll get into the main part of the setup, the actual computer. So what I have powering this setup is an HP Compaq 6005 Pro small form factor. These little PCs can be found for ridiculously cheap on eBay. I bought mine about 5 or 6 years ago for $50, and so did my brother. But nowadays they're going for less than $30 on eBay. Some with a different processor are even going for $20. So let's go through the actual specs of my PC. The processor is the AMD Athlon 2 X2 B24. This processor was released in 2014 and has a 3 GHz clock speed. In terms of a graphics card, this PC came with ATI Radeon 4200 integrated graphics. However, this basically couldn't do anything, so I upgraded it for $30 with a GT 730. Side note, this is a great option for cheap small form factor PC builds. It fits well inside a small case and draws very little power, so you don't have to replace the power supply. Not the greatest for gaming, I will say that. In fact, it's horrible for gaming, but for a nice office setup and if you want to have 3 monitors, great option. In terms of RAM, I have 8 GB of DDR3 RAM. The PC originally came with 4 GB, but I put in 2 more sticks to make it 8. This upgrade cost me $12. As far as storage goes, this PC came with a 250 GB hard drive, but I added a 240 GB Kingston SSD to speed up load times, which cost me $25. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like this PC is not an absolute potato. It's fine for web browsing and using tools like Excel, Word, checking email, watching YouTube, light stuff like that. It also performs well with lighter gaming like Minecraft or Roblox. And I've also done a ton of video editing on this computer using a software called CapCut, which is a fantastic editing software for lower end PCs. However, any sort of gaming with any graphically advanced title, this PC just simply cannot do it. It just can't. That's why I use my PC for things like homework, writing video scripts, other light productivity tasks. I save my heavy lifting work for my M1 MacBook Air. So I bought the computer for $50, put in a $30 graphics card, put in $12 of RAM, and a $25 SSD, bringing the total cost of the PC to $117 and the final cost of the entire setup to $422. And just to take this a step further, if we don't factor in the non-essential items, which are the microphone, webcam, Alexa, and light strips, the total cost of this setup comes down to $317. So that's it. This setup is living proof that you don't need to throw away thousands of your savings to build yourself a nice desk setup. If you're patient enough to take the time to search for great deals, leverage your connections to get cheap or even free equipment from family and friends, and are okay with not having the newest and shiniest equipment, you can build a fully functional and productive desk setup with very limited financial resources. Thanks for watching, guys.